Hey everybody, this week we went over the first episode of Loki. I hope you guys enjoy it. We discussed what we think's going to happen this season, what's upcoming, just our thoughts in general. Enjoy.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks. Hello.
Hey everybody.
Today we're just going to chat about Loki for a little bit and then play some games.
Yep.
First of all, we really enjoyed the episode.
Yes, really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Hey everybody.
Feedback. What is going on? Turn that dial.
Got it.
Okay. So this episode starts out with Loki grabbing the Tesseract and going through the portal and getting caught by the TVA. And from there...
This is directly after, Endgame?
Mm-hmm.
This occurred directly after Endgame.
But it's the middle of the first Avengers movie.
Right, yes, because he got... The Tesseract got hit by the Hulk when he was coming down the stairs, and Loki grabbed it and escaped.
Okay, and so he grabs the Tesseract, gets caught by TVA, and then he pretty much just goes through the whole prison system processing where he gets strip searched, he gets given a number and sent through a line, sign pretty much you did this, witness statement, and from there
He goes to trial.
next it pretty much warps to Mobius where it shows the picture of the devil on the stained glass window and makes you think, oh, Mephisto's here again for the third time in a row. And you see this little girl with blue teeth, which I would like to know more about the gum situation.
Yeah, I didn't understand that reference, if it was a reference, but I would like to.
I don't either. I don't know if it has something to do with the plot that we don't understand yet or what.
Yeah, I don't know what time that came from. But hopefully we get that information. But yeah, the little girl points to the devil in the stained glass, and then you think, oh, it's Mephisto. But are they just playing with us? We'll see.
Okay, and then from there, they pretty much reset that little kid. Like, that little kid gets sent back to her own timeline. None of this stuff happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, what a reset is in this world. Like, I don't know if they just delete her from existence, if they put her back in her time, how that works.
I would hate to think that they just, delete people out of existence when they stray. I think they just kind of, maybe obliviate their memory and then send them back to where they were.
Maybe. I don't know, if it's a branching timeline, how that works. Like, if the other timeline still goes, if it splits and there are two people now, the regular person stays in the timeline, but do you reset this timeline and, kill that child? How does that work?
I don't know. I would hope they don't kill children, but...
This is Marvel.
Yeah. Anyways, so something is afoot. They're chasing somebody, and they're taking out the Minutemen, which even Loki can't seem to do because they capture him.
And then you go to Loki's trial from there.
Yes.
Where he's pretty much set to be reset. We still don't know what that means. And from there, Mobius shows up and kind of saves the day, saves him. He wants Loki for something. We really don't know what. We have an idea. But from there, he takes Loki out of the courtroom. I don't think a whole lot happened there that we need to discuss.
Not really. I mean, he's a little butthurt about the Avengers not getting in trouble for messing up the timeline. But
yeah, that's something we talked about too. You asked me why the Avengers didn't get in trouble. And the only thing I could come up with was that's what was supposed to happen in the timeline, so it doesn't affect the TVA if that's what the timeline is supposed to do.
Right, yeah. I guess they're not... If it's according to their will or their plan, then they're not... then just, carry on your way.
Is this where you want to talk about what the timekeepers are?
Yeah, I want to know what they are. Who are they?
I don't know. I feel like this is kind of a setup for the Thor movie, because I feel like maybe well, how do you beat the Infinity Stones? How do you one-up the Infinity Stones in the next phase?
Right.
So maybe we've already learned from Thor that they're going to do Odin and all that. Russell Crowe is going to play Odin. So maybe this is where you...
Odin.
Not Odin. Zeus, my bad. Zeus. So maybe this is where you get into the gods of the Marvel Universe and stuff like that. Maybe they're a form of those gods, per se.
Maybe like more mythology type
Maybe.
stuff?
I'm not sure. That's the only thing I can think of is... You get maybe more backstory on even the Grand Master this phase. Because he's kind of a demigod, kind of.
Do you think it would tie into the Eternals at all?
Maybe. I mean... And then you got the whole thing about the multiverse of madness during that Jurassic Park-esque video.
There were a lot of multiverse mentions and a lot of madness mentions.
Yeah, so... And there was also... So, coming out of the trial, you get that... scene of the TVA, which you read somewhere it might be the quantum realm. I'm not sure, but it's the CGI of just like the city of.
It was beautiful.
Everything that Star Wars wants to be.
It was very nicely done. It was beautiful. I wish it could be my background on the computer. It was really cool. Wasn't there a city in the quantum realm?
I'm not sure.
It could. I mean, if so, that could be the city in the quantum realm. Yeah, you tell them. That's what Martini Mama said. Yeah, I tell them all the time. It very well could be. And we heard in this episode and in via Scott Lang that time moves differently in these parts. Time moves differently in the quantum realm. Time moves differently in the TVA. Is there a correlation? Maybe. We'll find out.
I'm not sure. But then they also went into the scene of... Not the scene, but it was like a one-off one-liner. It's like, if you think this is crazy, you should see Nightmare or something like that.
Oh, the Nightmare Department.
The Nightmare Department. And that could be also a callback to Mephisto and...
Nightmare.
Right. Which also, like, if you're going to do gods as Phase 4, what better villain for the Phase 4 film than the devil himself?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that definitely could have been a foreshadowing.
You know what I mean?
Of some sort.
So then you get into Morbius taking Loki into this room and pretty much interrogating, but not quite interrogating. Like, it's more like...
Therapy, almost.
It's almost like a Christmas Carol, like, this is your life.
Yeah.
Past, present, future type situation.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Loki's kind of seeing his past and how... Pretty much his only reason for being alive was to bring the Avengers together, which kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like, you have a complex where you feel like you're never good enough as is, and then you find out like pretty much your existence was to bring the Avengers together
and to help them succeed.
To help them, help them unite.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we got to go back to them calling Loki Laufeyson in the trial.
That hurt my heart.
That hurt Loki's heart.
I kind of wish we got a little more of a reaction from him, like, I don't know, maybe correcting them, saying, no, it's Odin's son or something.
But I feel like that was just, like, the first jab. Like, he gets jabbed repeatedly throughout this thing.
Yeah.
Like, and by the end of it, like, you can tell he's done. Like,
yeah. That was sad.
But, like, all right, so we're back in the room with Mobius here. And the next thing they talk about is... So they talk about Thor the Dark World. So it's something Loki has yet to see because this is Avengers timeline. So he never lived the Dark World.
Right.
So he finds out he essentially kills his mother trying to kill his brother. Which, that's the one that kind of tears him apart.
Yeah.
You flash to Odin dying too, but I don't think Odin meant nearly as much as Freya did to him.
No. At least not consistently. They kind of reconcile a little bit, but not...
It's not the same.
It's not the same. His mom was always the constant...
Like, his mom made him feel... Was one of the ones that made him feel like part of the family.
Right. He learned from her. He had a bond with her. Yeah, that was sad.
And then from there, you have the scene where the Minutemen, the woman comes in and tries to justify why they should reset Loki, and in the process he escapes.
Right.
So then you have Loki running around the hallways, and he finds the Infinity Stones, like a whole drawer of them. And he realizes they don't work here. So then we have to question how big is the TVA?
Right. Like, we've been, in the last 10, 12 years of the MCU, everything's led up to collecting these all-powerful Infinity Stones. And that was like, Thanos having the gauntlet with all the Infinity Stones was the most powerful thing we've ever seen. And to see them used as paperweights in a drawer is just kind of like a slap in the face. Like, Vision, Nat, Gamora, they all died.
Right, and it also tells us how much bigger this phase is. Like, hopefully this, like, it's almost like our heroes have to get stronger.
They do. Like, the universe is much bigger than we think it is.
Right.
At time, what does time mean?
Right. And from there, Loki grabs the Tesseract, comes back, can't use it, and before Mobius shows up, Loki has a chance to look at the rest of his tape.
Yeah.
And this is where we see not so much Loki being a hero. We never see Loki being a hero. But we see the bond Loki and Thor formed. We see the love they finally shared for each other.
Yeah.
We never see Loki be the hero of Ragnarok. We never see Loki be a hero.
No.
But we do see the love that they share.
And we do see him try to betray Thanos.
And we see that, and that's one of those things you don't know if that is self-preservation in Loki's mind when he's seeing it. I don't know if he sees that as self-preservation or him doing this for the greater good.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's where the line for me is I don't believe Loki ever saw himself as a hero during that clip, because that's something he's always done for self-preservation. Like, him seeing that, I think he thought more, he's seeing this because this is the end of his life, as opposed to he's seeing this because he did something bigger.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd like to see the best in people, so I don't know.
What you think?
It's hard to say, because I don't know how he processed what he was watching. Did he realize, me and my brother, we finally got to a point where we understood each other, where we could trust each other, where I would ultimately give my life for him? I don't know if he realized that, but that's basically what happened.
Now, in the clip with Thanos, I don't know if he knows if Thor is there. I have no idea if he knows Thor is even in that space with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You see the part where in Ragnarok where he's riding the elevator with Thor and they start to finally bond as brothers.
Right.
But then it flips to the part with Thanos, and in my mind, Loki's seeing that. Loki thinks he's seeing that because that's the end. I don't think he sees Thor there. I don't know if I doubt he thinks he's doing it because he's a hero in any means. Loki's always done stuff like that out of self-preservation. It's never been, I'm doing this because I want to be the hero. It's, I'm doing this because it's what needs done for what he said. It's fear. Fear brings weakness. I never wanted to kill those people, but the killing those people makes his weakness seem strong. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
It's hard to say. I mean, I definitely think he was affected by everything he saw, and kind of came to the conclusion like, well, my life was for nothing except for uniting the Avengers, who he at the current time can't stand.
Right,
so he's kind of got nothing left to live for.
He thinks his purpose is to be king, but that's not the case. And he realizes throughout the episode that there's powers way bigger than him in this universe. He is nothing compared to everything else. But on the flip side, I don't think at any point in this did he think he was the hero.
No.
But then you flip to the end and Mobius says, we want your help catching another variant, and that variant is you. Like, maybe we'll see in the next episode that's where Loki starts to realize he's a hero.
Maybe.
Like, he's getting a chance to become a hero.
Right, he's seen how his first timeline plays out, which not everybody gets the opportunity to do.
Right, and if you think you're the villain in that timeline the entire time, maybe that will drive you to become a hero in this timeline.
Right, it's a second chance.
Right. So, what do you think about the theory that it's the female Loki?
I like the theory. I mean, could be because Loki in mythology is gender fluid. He can shapeshift. He can turn into anyone and anything. He turn into a snake and stab Thor. You know,
right?
There's definitely a possibility that there is a female variant of himself,
right?
Wreaking havoc.
So what else you think about this episode? What do you think we're gonna see next week? What do you think about the scene where the variant kills the Minutemen in the field?
That was intense. It had very heavy hell themes.
And like, I almost want to throw out in the other two Disney Plus series we saw, was there death like that? You know what I mean? I feel like they were very careful not to kill anybody. Even when Falcon threw the person out of the helicopter, they landed in the water and they were very clear to make sure the person lived. You know what I mean?
Carly bombed that whole building.
True.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was intense for episode 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was real villain vibes.
Right.
Let's see. What about the whole time war?
I feel like that's a callback to maybe some form of Secret Wars where all the timelines collide on each other. But we'll see. The multiverse kind of collapses on itself.
Yeah, and then
also maybe that's where this builds into Doctor Strange as well. Is somehow the timelines get out of hand and they have to bring them all back together.
Right, because the Ancient One, she was tasked with preserving the timeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean since Doctor Strange is the new Sorcerer Supreme that he is tasked with, saving the timeline, keep preserving it?
I don't think his job is to preserve timeline. His job is to protect the dimension. Just because he has the time stone doesn't mean his job is to preserve the timeline. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their job was to protect the dimension.
Okay. I thought, that whole conversation she had with Hulk in Endgame, like, she was telling him about the branch and
she was saying it would create one, but I don't necessarily know if that's their problem. You know what I mean?
Okay. Gotcha.
So I think that's all we got on Loki today. What do you think?
I think that's it. Let us know what you think for sure. We're probably gonna play some League of Legends if you wanna join us, and we can chit chat some more about Loki if you'd like.